Hey, what's up, everyone? Oh, fuck, I forgot to hit record. Alright, Random, but could you just at least let me put my text in, right? Let me put, this is what I was mentally ill for, and I don't condone the views, however, love would be kindness, okay? Can we put that in there? Alright, thank you. Oh god, Random's funny. So I figured in session it should be. Oh, did I not fucking hit record again? Oh my god. Alright. So what's up? This is Random, aka Mark Random. I can't even get through it. There's so many sessions of advice that it's like I'm in the zone. I figured, why not break the fourth wall and just let you know it's Mark and it's Random right at the same time, and we're characterizing it as Mark Random. Now, we truly don't want to die. We don't want this to end badly at all. I swear on God, if I could snap my fingers, magic wish, fucking happy, healthy ever after, literally like saving the world, peace, love, and joy, right? But we know God doesn't get out like that, and we know God and the devil have this secret shit back and forth, Random, that they just like fucking making each other laugh. I think it's the other one's sexual arousal. Like God and the devil are like a cuckold couple and a cuck queen. So God's like fucking Earth, and then devil's like, oh shit, this is getting me hard, and the devil's laughing, and then the devil does some fucked up shit, and God is like, oh shit, this is getting me off, this is crazy. I swear, and I am the pinnacle of that. My existence is for God and the devil to fucking laugh at, because it's fucking funny. It's literally like, not to be messianic, but you take someone who's pure heart, soul, and intentions, and this is what we're going to get into, is love, joy, peace, kindness, forwardness, truth, awareness, and bringing literally global peace. Like, think of what war is, right? War is people running at each other with missiles. They fucking did it with muskets, with swords, literally cutting limbs off, killing family members, breaking families apart for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, right? So it's like, if you could do that out of fear and then out of hate, why can't you do that out of love? It sounds like the worst thing in the world, but it's like, what would you rather have? A bunch of people running at you to hug you, to express this existential, we don't know the meaning of life, but let's give it joy and peace? Or a million people running at you fucking with knives and machetes and guns and assault rifles and grenades and tanks and missiles? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, try the other fucking one. But again, God and the devil like to play this game called balance, where there has to be a certain amount of good shit in the world and a certain amount of bad shit, which I think is fucked up. When I die and get to heaven, the first thing I'm going to do is be like, God, yo, this shit was fucked up. You didn't give them the meaning of life. You didn't tell them when they were going to die. You didn't explain what the process of life, us being collective energies to manifest nightmares or dreams, you didn't give them the blueprint, and you just set them free. That's fucked up. And then the devil's laughing like, yeah, I wouldn't have done that shit. At least in hell, I would give them actual free will to control and decide whether they wanted a good life or a bad life. And hell isn't even that bad or that long. It was way overblown to sell, because you sell to the extremities of what we consider infinite in the universe. So this is Random, aka Mark Random, rapper, comedian, and Random. Or this is Mark and then Random and then Mark Random. Again, Mark Random's the seal of this, so it's fourth dimensional. So that's literally what life is. And like I said, I do not want to die, but I know how God and the devil play it off. So have a heart full of love, joy, peace. And anytime you do that, you resonate on frequencies of, it's all in thought patterns, repetition, and behavior. Love, joy, peace, kindness, forgiveness, sincerity. When you practice that like a mantra and you think it every day, like if you had that on a binary loop, love, joy, kindness, peace, love, forgiveness, compassion, kindness, love, sincerity, that's what all 12 of those are on the dodecagram. That's what this fucking thing is. I'm the Hebrew Messiah to say that is the cure, that is the elixir to all human suffering of not knowing the meaning of life, not knowing what happens when we die, and so creating fear for survival, death, or just people who completely want into death as self-destruction. We don't control and we don't know. So that's the fucking cure. This organatic virus, psychic virus, you take science and religion religion. They're the same fucking thing. The atoms and cells and molecular specks in every orifice of your body, when you zoom out, it's a universe of planets and galaxies. And guess what that is? It's all based on these energetic charge, positive, negative, love, fear, joy, hate, peace, terror. You get what I'm saying? So it's putting that out in the atmosphere. But what God's kind of comedy is the Jesus Christ story. Like, to make someone full of love, joy, peace, sacrifice their whole life to do that, and then for them to just be fucking killed, crucified, and assassinated, mass murder, and then they throw the blame on him. They're like, oh no, he was the fucked up guy, because they were the two-faced traitors, the robbers, the muggers, the rapists, the evils. They were like the demon. Jesus was the angel in hell. That's the angel. That's what that tattoo is. And then flipping it upside down, I'm in, because I'm in, that's the game of life, is this energetic charge. So now, what I just gave you, that's the cure, right? That's the elixir that in organisms and science, if you transform, it's basically how many percentiles that you have of the cure and the virus. Now, the virus is like insecurity, confusion, deceptiveness, desperation, entitlement, insecurity, fear, bitterness, resentful. There's a few others, jealousy, envy, all of those things. That is this disease that you could put a subtraction sign. That's the disease. And the more someone thinks, acts, and feels in that pattern, because that's based on ego, self-preservation of their own destruction, not knowing the meaning of life, they produce negative energy out in the world that creates the fear, pain, and hate, and that creates a nightmarish world. So now what you see that we are in like the entire heaven and the entire hell at the exact same time, and this could go either way. This could flip within a day. We are all turning into heaven, love, joy, peace, because I'm the Hebrew Messiah. I'm supposed to save you guys. We're going to just be laughing, hugging, like I said, on the nuclear battlefield, because why not fucking try that? Or this is going nuclear war. This is going fear, pain, and hate. Demons taking it across the stage for the win. Angels versus demons. It is not a fucking race, ethnicity, egotastic thing, gender, biology, religion. It's not that. It is good, positive, love, joy, peace energy versus negative, fear, hate energy. And the way to get to the angel positive energy is through the elixir. If you can remember what it is, I don't, because I'm schizophrenic and insane, and I'm just saying this as a character, so please don't fucking shoot me. This is what I was put in the hospital for, by the way, when I was 17, 18, ironically, right around November 17th to the, all that whole thing. It was literally just drawings and saying shit like this. And whoa, I was so ahead of my time. I was a prophet, then became a messiah. I hope I don't become a martyr, which means you guys kill me because you had enough of my wacky nonsense. But yeah, so Jesus went through it. Horus went through it. It's sort of having that good intention. So let's try not to have that. It sucks so bad. You guys just killing heroes, killing good positive energy. Why not look at yourself, reflect, and realize, oh shit, that's right. Put your ego aside. No more fear, no more hate, no more sorrow, no more harming people. Just love, like self-love or love others, but to create that atmosphere as a ripple effect, the butterfly effect, other than because that's what you get what I'm saying? Oh shit, I got that off in 8 minutes and 42 seconds. Good, because I was running out of shit to say. So yeah, that's the game of life. God and the devil don't really have anything to do with it. That's inside yourself. God represents love, joy, and peace. But if we want to get fourth dimensional, God can also represent a God and a devil within him. And the devil can represent the devil and God within him. That's molecular and that's spiritual. That's fourth dimensional, which is what life, it's people see two-dimensional and either or, one or the other, black or white. Third dimensional is seeing the black, the white, the gray, and understanding. Fourth dimensional is seeing the black, the white, the gray, the black, white, and gray at the same time, the black and white, the white and black, and all the other combinations, and that's perspective. To know the truth, you would literally have to have every billion person's perspective and energy to have the right, proper analysis of what reality and life and earth is. So I'm just giving you subjects to go off of and pass the torch. down, a couple thousand years as the Hebrew Messiah, Mark RanDoM, stand-up comedian and parody of a comedian, because people don't think I'm a real comedian. They don't think this is really funny. This whole, hey, you guys are headed towards nuclear war. I'm the Messiah trying to warn you. I'm going to give it how. Now you guys are going to say I was the evil demon one. You're going to say I did all the fucked up shit instead of your fucking demonic, pedophilic, hate, fear, pain, nightmarish world. You get what I'm saying? So that's kind of the comedy. That's what the joke is. And that's what me, God, and the devil have agreed on. The devil helped me. I'm going to give it out. Obviously, I'm on Team God and Angel. I'm going to give it up. The devil shouted out of saying, hey, God, if you're going to put him through this fucked up joke, at least give him a technicality of a positive ending. You get what I'm saying? Like, even if you have to rearrange the fucking pieces around, give him a positive happily ever after, and you can't judge him on the good or bad energy, because it's like your fucking CIA Illuminati 12 bloodline, which again is just you, because you're your own dream or nightmare in your perspective of reality and everyone you interact with. So we are all, that's the funny thing when they want to say it's Jews or a Zionist bloodline controls the world. What happens is you get up in those and then you see the true is just you, because in all of your entire life you have never seen a true reflection of yourself, the true good and the true bad at the same time. You always project that onto others, so you have to be constantly aware of that, and not internal projection. That's where this whole country's getting fucked up, is half the people are just projecting more on their toxic energies unconscious, their fear, pain, and hate, or love, joy, and peace. Or people are internalizing and putting the fear, pain, and hate on them. That's why there's mass suicide. That's why there's mass murders. That's why there's like fucking global catastrophes and wars, instead of putting the self, love, joy, and peace. So it's a balance between the exterior of our love, joy, and peace and our interior love, joy, and peace. You get what I'm saying? So thankfully, God was lenient enough, because God's like, yo, I'm going to pull out this fucking hilarious joke. Mark cries like, but God, why does it have to be this way? And then Mark says, I never want to say goodbye. RanDoM's like, shit, this is really fucking sad. This is like having a child cry and weep the whole way, and he can't understand why. I get it. I'm kind of a dick also and like to tell funny jokes. RanDoM. So I understand where God's coming from. But my whole game is, Mark is spread this message to the world. He's the Hebrew Messiah. My game plan is just helping that, facilitating that, making sure Mark is okay. And then God will be like, oh, you know what? I know RanDoM was made from the devil, but we're going to let him into heaven anyway, because RanDoM literally gave the just fucking eternal acceptance, egolessness, cognitive destruction. You get what I'm saying? Like, RanDoM's really taking one for the team for Mark. So the devil's like, hey, could you just give him a nice spot in heaven? It's like he fucking made some CIA global China Russia deals with the fucking fascist totalitarian. There you go. You want to talk politics? Everyone wants power. There you go. You can't say democracy, socialism, Marxism, capitalism, fascism, totalitarian. They all want powers, and no matter what the system, they will find their way to, out of fear and desire to control and struggle to survive. Because what is all the evil controlling and destroying you except just their self-preservation and their terror of death and the unknown? You get what I'm saying? So I save the world, or I help Mark. God's like, all right, RanDoM, we know what you are. You're not an angel or a demon. You're not even a hybrid. You're an angelic demon and a demonic angel, fourth dimensional creature, character, which is Mark RanDoM, presenting it in layman's terms for you. It's a lot more complicated with all kinds of charts and graphs and sketches and religious people and psychics and oracles and wizards and shit like that. But I'm just breaking it down for the layman's. So that's the game plan. And the devil's like, yo, if you're going to do that to your angel, your Messiah, your martyr, Mark, just please fucking let him in on a technicality. You get what I'm saying? So the devil is more like, the devil controls the good and evil. God they both control it, and then they both fuck with it. It's like a spatting marriage that really, I'm going to get them back together. Mark's path, along with what I'm doing, I'm getting God and the devil back together by helping transform angels into demons and demons into angels. Now, that's a 2 to 3rd dimensional perspective. So you take demonic angels, and then they're different from demonic angels, angelic demons, and that's now 4 dimensions of energy that we described before when we were in the 2nd dimension. You get what I'm saying? So I do that. So it's both heavenly hell and hellish heaven, right? I get sent to Elysium for being a hero, and it's fucking hilarious. So that's where Mark RanDoM comes in. Can you believe I got put in a mental institution for that? That is some silly goosery stuff. That you all misinterpreted Mark RanDoM as this thing that he wasn't. That is the silly goosest silly. And you know what? As RanDoM, I don't hurt anyone. I don't do anything bad. My only crime was that I was indeed down to clown. You get it? Mark was going in a crazy direction, so I'm like, yo, let's go in this direction, but we can finesse it like this. And you all got pissed at that. Why? RanDoM and Mark RanDoM. If they can go to war, starve, and survive, and that's the also thing, is it's generational in its time, because 100 years from now, what you do biologically affects the world. You get what I'm saying? So if you, like, make a bunch of money, your kid gets that. Now, if your kid loses a bunch of money or saves a bunch of money, it goes and goes and goes. But again, where are we going technologically? It's really everyone's hedging their bets on survival. Is it going to be off the grid of just like caveman days with guns and gasoline and fire and food as currency, building some kind of society? Or is it going to be complete technological, AI, machine, robot consciousness, eternity, computer programming, thing like that? You get what I'm saying? So I'm creating an alternative option so you don't, because some see that as hell, others see that as heaven, and then a different group sees that as hell and that as heaven. So that's what we can agree on. We can agree, we disagree. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. I don't really have anything left. Hey, what's up, everyone? This is RanDoM, a.k.a. Mark RanDoM, rapper, comedian, Hebrew Messiah, savior of the damned, and the comedy god. And this is a little part 2, because it got a little too schizophrenic-y psychosis. Now, what Mark RanDoM was saying, again, Mark RanDoM the character, because if I had dissociative disorder, then the legalities of whether I should be out in society would be a little mixed. So we're going to say it's Andy Kaufman. Or I'm the new Charlie Chaplin, you know, just playing little characters. And it's only an act like character if it's convincing. So last night, was I convincing as a person in a psychotic episode talking about, oh man, look, a dodecagram, it symbolizes the random elixir to project on humanity. Life is secretly a war of angels and demons, positive and negative energy, all that wackiness. So we're going to try to pull this up a little bit. This is random, by the way. I'm sure Mark will come here in and out. It's not that I'm the dominant personality. That's just like nonsense science. It's, you know, there's times where you need Mark and there's times where you need RanDoM. There's times to be a Mark and there's times to be a RanDoM. And it's discerning which ones are which ones and how to navigate your life. But again, that's just fucking gimmicky shit because I don't want no legal shit, but I also don't want legal shit because I say real shit and they want to say it's fake shit, so I don't get legal shit and don't get people unless it's successful, then it is real shit. So is real shit. That's what we were talking. Just kidding with you. Am I? I don't know anymore. People are like, it's weird because it's like you tell jokes and then you say sincere statements, but then also you say things that I don't know if you're joking or not. And it's like, guess what? I don't either. So we're both in for the mystery, the chilling conclusion. No, the spontaneous conclusion. So yeah, basically, think of how it would be so insane if this was literally the shit that saved the world. Is my like bipolar, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, schizophrenic, psychotic, borderline in and out rants, because there is truth to it, right? Like saying anyone who watches any source of media is programmed. Like, think of it, it's not just left and right. Think of everything as it's selling you fear, it's selling you emptiness, so you feel a desire, and then you feel compelled and outrage. So fear and outrage and desire, and that's the cycle spinning with everything. That's why ideologies are becoming more extreme, is because when you're seeing it all on social media, it gives you an identity. Your literal chemicals in your brain cognitively create that's your reality. That's like your avatar. So when people think of life as like this third playing game, it's who they are online. That's why they put pronouns in their biography or their flags or what they represent, or like, Christian, patriot, father, or they use these arbitrary egotistical titles, but then that's what they assume as, and then all of those things, once you have a title, once you have an ego, you could be controlled. So the reason I'm freer than all of you is actually because I have a cognitive shattered psyche. And the Erickson stages of development, like when my identity and sense of self, because of some little wacky things that happen ironically around these days, it was shattered. So it's like my brain doesn't, like the literal wiring of my brain doesn't have a sense of self, hence the name RanDoM. Is it just like, and that could be the Buddhist thing of like release yourself totally from the ego, but then you get an ego about being so egoless of like, look, I don't care about anything, just spreading love, look how egoless I am. But it's, I cognitively and chemically don't have the ability to process like a sense of self. But that gives me the advantage in this world, because you watch all these divisions, right? Israel versus Palestine, Ukraine versus Russia, America versus whatever America's for, liberals versus Democrats, and everything is in divisiveness. The perfect example is COVID. Think of it this way, right? Liberals were told COVID will fucking kill you. You need to get the vaccine, and anyone who doesn't get the vaccine is a threat to your life. Now, what they told conservatives is the vaccines will kill you. Anyone who's trying to push the vaccines want to kill you, and they are killing themselves. So you have this cycle, and then there's information bias. This is the media's game, and social media exacerbated it, and that's why you can't fall for their trap. What was I saying? It's like narcissistic abusive. Like each side, they'll feed you propaganda and lies. They'll bring you in towards a cause. Then they'll manipulate their facts, and then they'll take the other side and demonize them and dehumanize them. So now you're by default divided. And then take the 2020 riots, right? Liberals purposely took George Floyd and that incident because it's polarizing. Of half of the country sees it as a man who he was on substances, police brutality, innocently executed, or the other half of America sees it as police upstanding order doing his job against criminal. That's why they make statues of him. It's not because it was like a police are in the right or criminals in the right or police in the wrong, or criminal, is because it's, you literally can't define on a line. Even me saying that, if millions of people were watching it, half are throwing their hands up and going, obviously he was innocent, and the other half are throwing their hands up saying, obviously the police was right. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, if both perceptions exist at the same time, if millions and millions of people look at the George Floyd thing and see one thing, and the other millions and millions see another thing, obviously there's something to that, and the media knows that. They purposely pick these divisive stories. That's why another thing, and they add divisiveness upon divisiveness. The Kyle Rittenhouse story, right? There's stand your ground laws where it's clear cut who was right and who was wrong. There's stand your ground things where it's clear cut who was wrong and who was right. That's another one that it, like, half the world sees it as a domestic terrorist, the other half sees it as self-defense, righteous, and patriot. So now there's that divisiveness, and then they say, storming the Capitol was peaceful, but an overtake of government. Like, think of how the liberals narrate January 6th versus how conservatives narrate it. It is both that they're justifiably the proper ideology. They have the moral high ground. They manipulate the facts and the realities to suit their narrative. They project, make excuses for their bullshit, and blame the other when that's just all part of the plan. And that's why there's, racial division, gender division, trans division. The trans are women, trans are not women, like shit like that. Like, everything is propagated fear, divisiveness, outrage, and threat to the identity that they've programmed in you. You're literally just energy in the atmosphere, and the only purpose to life is like being kind and helping others. That's literally all it is. But to create this war, and because you're not into it, and then you're programmed to choose a side. Like, if you can't understand why liberals would side with what they side with, again, that goes communist China, where they feel in life and how their upbringing and what their programming and circumstances and why they would feel that would be a better outcome, and the horrors they see of capitalism and why they want the air quotes destruction of capitalism, versus the right side, which adding to like totalitarianism, why they feel capitalism is the best thing and socialism and communism is bad, and they all pick and choose their facts to use, and they all have their propaganda network, which are, they're all devils in the same. You get what I'm saying? Like, liberal media and conservative media and centrist media can try its best, but it still takes it's you just have to see all of it and none, and that is the fourth dimension. Because then, like I said, divisiveness upon divisiveness, they take the George Floyd thing and say, oh, and then the Kyle Rittenhouse, and then they create racial division, then they create gender division on top of it. Like, they add, every news story is polarizing, divisiveness, outrage, and then other news stories continue to add to that narrative of polarizing divisiveness without any comprehension of the legal system or the financial system or all of the elements at play. Because the worst problem in the world is you are literally seeing just text and a clip and a screen. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing someone's propagated narrative. Then you're programming millions and millions of people that propagated narrative. So now you have millions and millions of people, confirmation bias and echo chamber, that you've already been programmed. You are like narcissistic personality disorder. That's what's being propagated in fear, division, and outrage, and it's what's creating the escalation. It's escalating itself to a civil war, to a global war, and people are so fucking stupid they don't even see it. It sucks. But it's not race, it's not gender, it's not ethnicity, it's not religious belief, it's not cultural, it's not ethic, it's just good energy and bad energy, positive and negative, love and fear, joy and hate, peace and the other thing, joy and pain and fear and hate, fear and love. See, I got it all mixed up. I could never be the Hebrew Messiah. I got it too mixed up. But that's literally the truth. But the problem is everyone thinks they have their own truth, but that's literally the truth. And I know that because the only objective truth is to study every single perspective and then add that together. But it just, so to have that fourth dimensional knowledge, and the problem is they try to suck you in, right? Like, black people in their social media algorithms is just videos of black people being killed by police and that. So it programs them to have a victim mentality against the state, and there's some justifiable things to it, and there's some lies to it. That's the issue. So then white people, I don't even like terms black and white because it's dehumanizing culture and identity, but then they have videos where it's just black people savagely killing white people, and then crime statistics and all these other things, and they're all manipulated because both have true grievances, and then both are propagated lies grievances. So creates fear and divisiveness, so you select a side because your emotions get attached, because your identity, your ego is cognitively invested in it for your own biological survival, and that's how they get you. They literally like have you game, set, and match checkpoint because no one's on the same side. Like, if the grid collapsed, like even when they say like the FEMA camps of like, well, don't help out the Black Lives Matter or don't help out the Trump people, it's like they're trying to draw battle lines that don't exist because it's all based on ego, identity, and things that probably 100 years from now won't mean anything. You get what I'm saying? But you can still try to like latch on to cultural things. Well, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam have lasted thousands of years, but it's the only thing eternal is just energy, frequencies, and wavelengths, positive and negative. And that's what's happening, is this narcissistic manipulative programming that everyone feels their ideology is right because they've been fear traumatized. The media will pick every kind of story of fear and horror until it gets you. You get what I'm saying? Like if you're some like dashiki Muslim Buddhist just out in the woods and you watch media or on social media, eventually they're going to get around to a traumatizing story that chemically wires you, that gets you invested. That's what September 11th was. It was global traumatization to get everyone on the like supporting America like cult like shit. And that's when you see these people of like waving the American flags. It's like, no, It's anti-American is as much of a cult belief of destruction as pro-American. That's just, again, the fourth dimension. It isn't an either or. It's having to see how they've controlled you, how they've programmed you to treat other people. If you're wearing the American flag, waving and stand for the American flag, and then you treat other people who don't feel that way with contempt because you feel justified and you feel righteous and you feel morally righteous, and you dehumanize and don't see them as people, it's just social media ego identity generalization, then they've fucking won. The 12 bloodlines and Illuminati energetics have won. Game, set, and match, checkmate. And the same thing for anti-American people, right? They've all traumatized you in this form of like, America's fascist, so you have to be against it. So if you see someone waving the American flag and you feel self-righteous because all the systemic historical issues that are lies, by the way, I don't want to get into that. But again, they program you through history, through lies, through education, through environmental things. Everything is based on an individual thing. But when you can make generalizations, you can create narratives. And when you can create narratives, you can program people. When you can program people, you can create masses and masses of people that believe the same shit. So it really is just all of that combined into one. And they got you. I don't see how no one fucking sees this. I'm the only one who sees this, and it fucking sucks. That's what I'm saying. So God sent me down to say, because if I can't, my empathy weeps for humanity, watching them suffer but dehumanize themselves. And then it gets to a sick point where I look at the eugenics of the world, the extermination, right? And it's like, if humanity can be programmed into its own self-annihilation, does it deserve to survive? Like the 12 bloodlines that are perpetrating this fucking medical poisons in the food, or the genetic poisons in the food, the medical suffering that creates, where, again, there's cures for all that shit. They just need you in the medical system, and that's how they pocket you. They pocket you with some suffering and create such a clusterfuck, or financially. You're medically sinking, you are chemically sinking, you are financially sinking, if not now, the generations and generations. But if they could convince you in that extermination, are they morally righteous? Like, if I could convince a bunch of people to kill themselves, which I would never do, would I be wrong, or would it just be a show on humanity? And that's where kinder hearts have to prevail. Like, the strongest have to look out for the weak, the smartest have to look out for the less intelligent. And this has been completely abused in exploitation in every sense of the way. And again, no one wants to take responsibility, look inward at themselves. No one wants self-accountability. No one wants self-awareness, because no one wants compassion. No one wants empathy. No one wants kindness, because no one wants sincerity. No one wants forgiveness, because that's a harder path to take, because obviously you're going an uphill stream. Majority of people programmed fear, hate, all kinds of generalizations, prejudices, and things like that. And it's beyond cultural. It's just instinctual. It's just what they've traumatized you to, what they've programmed all your thought patterns, all your emotions, all your regulatory systems, what they've chemically put into you as foods, what they've biologically created you as, what their history and cultural social norms are, what they're just how they've manufactured your existence, and everyone kind of sinks. And unfortunately, I pray I make it. I don't want to die, but I see the ship sinking. Like, again, medical sinking, financial sinking, biological health sinking. And it's like, I recognize the system that's doing it. I recognize I'm not the only one, and everyone's going through this. Everyone's sinking or rising at different levels. It's literally like a casino gamble of chaos, of people really just voting for their own survival, just going in any direction or any belief or any ideology they feel will lead to the best survival. That's why everything's gotten so extreme. You have to imagine, like, liberal and Democrat politics is like two narcissistic abusive relationships, and they're all paid off, and they're all extorting each other and stuff like that. So they're only going to believe that they're morally virtuous. They are going to lie. They are going to be hypocrites against own facts just to keep their ideology. They are going to justify their mistakes and project it onto them. They're going to deflect and divert the narrative of the other. Then they are going to blame and dehumanize the other, right? So that's what's happened with liberals and conservatives. That's what they've done. That creates the divisiveness. Now, that's every other single outlet and faucet. So you have now millions and millions via social media and every other thing I just mentioned, narcissistic, manipulative, abuser programming where everyone thinks they're right. Everyone makes excuses. Everyone projects on other people. Everyone diverts and makes excuses for themselves and justifies. Everyone blames and dehumanizes the other. And that's what you're walking around in the world with based on these arbitrary ego titles that social media has programmed you based on fear, based on desire, based on self-preservation, and based on how they've controlled your own genetics and your own moral compass and your own thoughts and beliefs and patterns by everything around you. And then by medical issues, financial issues, medical issues, and things like that. So in the end, at the end, past the end, there we go, quick shout out, past the end with Mark and RanDoM, has nothing to do with that. None of that's real. It really is just energy. It's love versus fear. It's hate versus peace. It's joy versus suffering. It's positive energy and negative energy. What you exert to the world, despite what the world exerts towards you, creates a dream-like heaven or a nightmare-like hell. And unfortunately, we're collectively like the energy. Like imagine every thought and emotion you felt was a psychic thing to the universe. Then imagine all the billions that are feeling that way and that's what creates this conscious existence. We are all collectively one. So if you have millions of people who are getting sadder and putting more hopeless energy out into the universe and putting more confusion, then that's kind of what the reality is going to become. They're going to manifest that. So then you have these people that are influencers and in control that manifest that. They influence millions to create a more outraged society, a more divisive society, a more suffering society, and then you descend, the collective nightmare dream descends or ascends based on all of the collective's energy of positive or negative, love and peace, and that's the war of literal angels and demons that's taking place in present day. And this earth is just consciousness, is just a collective manifestation of those dreams and nightmares, that heaven and hell, and that's the game. That's what this fucking life is. So the only purpose is literally to spread kindness, because unfortunately, if you spread positive or negative energy, it ripples into more and more fear. You get what I'm saying? Like if you high five someone, you give love to someone, say something nice to someone, that person then goes on to say nice to all the people they meet in their life. So that's like 10,000 to 50,000. Those 50,000 go on to high five 50,000 more people. That's now like we're in 500,000 to a million. Those million high five a million to like 10 to 20 million. That 20 million high five to over a billion. That billion high five. So you high fiving someone has rippled through the entire world as a positive energy, or fist bump that people do these days. So you get what I'm saying? Like the way you treat an individual, love or fear, hate or joy, the other one, or peace, like affects the entire world. So you have that as an individual, positive and negative, the balance of heaven and hell in you, your dreams and your nightmares you're battling, and every single other human is just in a different form of the percentage of positive or negative energy that's in them, that's based on the amount of the disease versus the amount of the elixir they have inside themselves. And that is literally what this whole like war peace thing is it's love versus fear, hate versus peace, joy versus pain, and everyone puts their own energy out into the universe of positive or negative, and collectively that decides what reality is. So when there's people that see this as the most heavenly world in the world. Like you get all kinds of media content that you can enjoy. You get all kinds of people that you can meet on social media for love. You get food delivered to your door for the most part. You don't have You have a civilized society. So it's literally like technological. It's literally like heaven on earth. What you would imagine as heaven is you are all kings. Then there's people that are medically, financially suffering in bad, hard environments that meet awful people that have negative, dark energy. So they see this as a dystopian hell landscape, and that's the balance. That's the energy. So it's about that, everything I said was much better than the ending. So this is past the end with Mark and RanDoM. This is almost like the movie not the movie, the story explaining the plot. I was sent down. Mark RanDoM is the comedy god who's going to make a two-dimensional joke as me telling jokes on stage. Three-dimensional jokes as me just existing as the joke and making jokes within the jokes, as the comedy specials and non-specials in itself is the joke. The one I released, Hitler's Paintings EP, is a joke within a joke within a joke. The jokes are on the stage filming. The incarnation of it is a joke. The perceptiles of it is a joke, and what it symbolizes in the future, the fourth dimensional joke. And I keep creating these jokes as the comedy god to ripple through eternity. Now, Mark, the savior of the damned, thinks he's the Hebrew Messiah and can believe that. No, Mark's the Hebrew Messiah. RanDoM is the savior of the damned. RanDoM is the demonic angelic demon. And isn't it hilarious that this is the world I see? Like, you don't see life as, when I'm walking through every day, I just look at people as planets, universes, atoms and cells, angels and demons, and energies and auras. And you all see like superficialism, beauty, money, sex, status, cars, nice things. And I see a whole different world. And again, it's between me and God, God and the devil, Mark and RanDoM. One's not good, one's not evil. It's God is good, but has some fucked up hilarious shit about him. The devil is bad, but has some like comically nice things about him. All about balance. So I hope you fucking love it, God and the devil. Shout out to both. I'm going my own way. God and the devil could both suck my dick. I'm creating Elysium. It's going to be beyond heaven, beyond hell, beyond dreams, beyond nightmares. It's going to be hilarious, love, joy, peace, but greater than, because I think both God and the devil playing my life back and forth like they did Jesus and like they did Hitler as a joke for the world of predeterminism and destiny, and the whole world hating you. That's when you know you've done something holy and pure, and you're not just mentally ill and insane because of all the trauma you've suffered, is when you don't have any identity and you literally just do the holy thing, the righteous thing all the time. To give forgiveness to other people is a strength and power in yourself, because if you don't forgive them, then they hold power over you. They hold ultimate power because you're thinking about them, you're affected by them, they emotionally control you. Whereas when you forgive them and have nothing but positive feelings and forgiveness, and when you're sincere in a world of deceptive, manipulative, lying people, you hold a higher frequency. And when you are kind and loving in the face of hatred and outrage and hostile, you resonate on a godly frequency, and then you are in the same atmosphere as the gods and the devils, and you are all supreme. You are the Christ consciousness. You are Buddha, Allah, Muhammad. So there's one reason to be kind, compassion, forgiveness, if not for other humans, then for yourself. Because when your thoughts, emotions, energy, reaction is all programmed as ultimate compassion, forgiveness, kindness, love, sincerity, peace, is you resonate on an energy frequency like literally like you're on ecstasy and opiates all day, every day. That's literally what it's like every single day. So do it for yourself. And that's what creates, again, I'm saying God and the devil, I get it. I'm your eternal joke forever. It's funny. I cry over it, but I get other people were also your jokes. But so I'm creating my own, which is saving humanity as the Hebrew Messiah. And this is definitely not put on by the CIA. RanDoM. But ultimately, it's loving the world and giving kindness and joy and peace to change all the nightmare, fear, pain, and hate. I'm alchemizing it and manifesting heaven, a love, joy, and peace. So there you go. Past the end with Mark and RanDoM. Love you all. God bless. Now, do I love you all? There we go. Mark loves you for you, in that, like, Mark loves because giving, RanDoM loves because it makes him feel better. And that's the back and forth. That's the exterior, interior, and that's what you have to balance. Balance interior giving and exterior taking, and exterior giving and interior, the other thing. The balance of giving and taking, interior and exterior, as on heaven, as in earth, as the material, so the ethereal. RanDoM and Mark. Past the end with Mark and RanDoM. Got a new comedy. It's a non-special because comedy specials don't mean anything anymore. There's millions. So it's an EP. It's a non-special. It's some comedy performances, some old jokes, some throwaway jokes, and it's for free. And then some music because I'm a little silly. And if that's just what it is what it is. RanDoM, God and the devil's most hilarious joke since Hitler and since Jesus. RanDoM. God bless.